Howdy y'all. I recently passed 10,000 subscribers on my main channel, and to celebrate I decided I'd do a little Q&A over here. This isn't going to go on the main channel because, frankly, I'm in a good spot with the algorithm right now, and I'm super superstitious about doing anything that could jeopardize that. Emily Cookie asks, do you have an opinion on the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse movie? If not, what's your favorite show/movie? Across the Spider-Verse is probably my favorite movie of the year, and I doubt anything's coming particularly close. I feel like it surpasses the original, which I already thought was incredible. I especially like what they did with the character of Gwen, really expanding her as a character beyond just being Miles' friend. The other Spider people all rule, especially Spider-Punk, and while I've heard the criticism that it's an incomplete movie because it sets up for a sequel, I feel like the main storylines of the movie were all wrapped up pretty nicely. As for my favorite shows and movies, I can't really pick one, but I like stuff like The Owl House, She-Ra, Breaking Bad, Gravity Falls, everything Makoto Shinkai has done, and Toradora. Bez of 3 asks, what are your inspirations as a content creator? Some other YouTubers I get inspiration from are Sean, ContraPoints, HBomberGuy, Jose, Innuendo Studios, Some More News, and Polydice. And while she's not a YouTuber, Jamie Loftus's work was also a huge source of inspiration, particularly in making the Lolita video. Dissident 306 asks, would you ever consider doing an episode on the IDU? I didn't know what that was at first, but I looked it up and maybe? I'd have to look more into it, but I don't really leave anything off the table in terms of what I cover. Skybomb MC asks, what beauty products do you use? Whenever I'm in the shower, I put on this acne wash stuff to get the grease off my face, and then I put on this facial moisturizer stuff to get the moisture in my face. And that seems to work pretty well. I don't really wear much makeup except for maybe mascara sometimes, and I'm trying to learn how to do those eyeliner swoopy things. I'll put a picture of it up on screen that make your eyes look kind of like a cat's, but I struggle with them a lot so far. Danny Doyle asks, did you like the Prager Force box? Well, I never got one of my own. I guess Chuck Wilson, or whatever I call them, wasn't conservative enough for the PragerU people. But from what I saw in that one kid's video, it honestly didn't seem like it was worth it, because you didn't get very much, and considering how much social cred you're giving up by identifying with the Prager Force, I don't know. I'd want money. I'd probably only join the Prager Force if I was getting paid several $1 million, to be honest. Male Jesus asks, favorite color and drink? Well, my favorite color is orange. I don't know if you can tell. And my favorite drink is probably raspberry flavored iced tea, or maybe chocolate milk. And if we count smoothies, I guess smoothies. Do smoothies count as a drink? You drink them, but I don't know, they're thicker relative to most drinks. I don't know. Soup period 4147 asks, do you have a favorite artist or genre of music? 3. My favorite artist is definitely Kendrick Lamar. I know I'm not breaking any ground by being a white leftist who says, I like Kendrick. But there's a reason every one of us likes him. His music kicks ass. On my computer somewhere, there's a PowerPoint for my final project from my music history class. That's just going over Kendrick Lamar, covering all his albums, analyzing a bunch of his songs and stuff. And you're not allowed to see it. Don't ask. I'm not showing it to anyone. That's staying buried. But yeah. Other rappers I like include Jid and Denzel Curry, though rap isn't my favorite genre. That'd actually be Vocaloid, which I don't know if I can classify it as a genre or more like a medium. Music categorization is kind of stupid to me. But yeah, big Miku fan, big V-Flower fan, big Tato fan. Yes, she counts as a Vocaloid. I don't care. Utaloid, whatever. But yeah. To anyone who didn't stop watching after I said I liked Vocaloid, Scary Monster Super Creeps asks, best nu metal band? I don't really listen to any nu metal. I looked up a list of nu metal bands, and I like more songs from Linkin Park, but my favorite song is from Evanescence, so I'm gonna say Evanescence, because they have a cooler name. Levis XV asks, hair care routine? So once a week, I'll use this shampoo and conditioner that I bought from a Bed Bath & Beyond clearance sale because they were closing. And, just put that in your hair, do the conditioner, not on the roots, but everywhere else, basic stuff. And other than that, I just brush it. I don't like using blow dryers or curling irons or straightening irons or anything because I'm scared they'll mess with my hair. Lynn Loom asks, what is your political view and what do you think about Marxism-Leninism and communism more broadly? I'm not sure why more broadly is in quotes, but I generally describe myself as a leftist, mostly just because those Twitter posts that are my political journey and then list 15 slightly varying forms of communism just kind of annoy me. As for my views on Marxism-Leninism and communism more broadly, I still gotta get through a couple books before I can get you a real answer on that one. Evan Lynn Rose asks, what do you think of Hasanabi? I don't have much of an opinion on Hassan. I don't really watch live streams just because the format never clicked with me. I just generally prefer scripted content to unscripted. But my former roommate liked Hassan, and I've seen some of his tweets, and they're funny sometimes. So we'll give Hasanabi a tentative thumbs up. A Yeeted This Shit asks, how did you come up with your channel name? I've had a Natsuki profile picture on my Twitter since I made it, and one day I made a tweet that said, time to start some Doki Doki discourse. And I thought, wow, that's funny. I'm gonna make it my channel name. And now, 10,000 people are subbed to my channel based on a lame joke that got like 2 likes, and that's pretty cool, I think. Sundaradant asks, have you ever... Yes. Hemlock asks, what gave you the idea to put the clips of you messing around in the backgrounds of your videos? Well, I started doing the B-roll because my first video that I was on camera for was my mass shootings video. And I remember there was a section of the video where I just didn't want to be on screen reading out the words I had written down. So I just put myself in a field playing with a tennis ball or something. And after that, I decided, hey, this is a distinct visual gimmick to my channel. It's more interesting than just watching someone talk for an hour uninterrupted. And it makes it more fun to shoot and edit because I get to go out and actually do all the stuff. And when I'm editing, I don't have to look at myself just talking for the entire time. Most of my editing tricks are just things to make me less bored during the editing process, actually. Showguy asks, do you prefer to work on longer form videos or shorter videos? I'd say there is a pretty big difference in making a video that's, say, 40 minutes to 2 hours and one that's like 20 minutes. Honestly, I'd probably have to say I prefer making the shorter ones just because it's more of a condensed experience. And personally, when I write, I tend to write pretty condensed. But with long form videos, you can really delve into stuff, and that's pretty cool. Robity asks, what's your favorite kind of cheese? Smoked Gouda, or maybe feta. Quingus asks, where do you get your sick-ass headbands? Well, I have quite a bit of them, and I've mostly bought them from like stores and stuff. Some are from farmers markets and stuff, and then like I'd say maybe 5 of them were gifts that people just gave to me. So we're diversified up in here. Horned Witch 8425 asks, what's your favorite piece of political propaganda? Well, if you mean favorite as in which one do I actually like the most, that'd be my own videos, of course. But if you mean favorite as in which one do I find the most interesting, the Jim Crow era depictions of black people, in stuff like Birth of a Nation, and those advertisements that originated the tropes of like watermelons and stuff. I remember in one of my classes in my freshman year of college, we had a whole lecture that was just talking about these things, and it was one of the more interesting lectures I've ever gone to. So, Karomi Lover X3 asks, dog, who is that individual in the photo looking dope? Well, that's me. Thank you, Karomi Lover X3. A Doodler77 asks, why are you on top of a fridge? Why do you only have an egg and green onions in the fridge? Well, you see, I was trying to send sort of a metaphorical message here. That by supporting my channel, you have all helped me purchase food and the ability to keep that food cold in a fridge. And you see a Doodler77, that's not actually the fridge section of the fridge, because this is a combination fridge/freezer, and that is the freezer section. So I'm sending a third metaphor that's saying, hey, you, my audience, you're all pretty cool. Eating My Toes right now, 3627 asks, what's your opinion of Marx? Should he be revered as a godfather of the modern left, or seen as highly problematic due to the N-word usage and anti-Semitism that's shockingly common in his writings? Well, I don't think Marx's social beliefs should necessarily be seen as a reason to discount everything else he says. When I go after historical figures for their warped social beliefs, it's generally because those beliefs were either bad even for the time, such as Columbus, or those historical figures themselves knew their beliefs in what they were doing was wrong, but did it anyways, such as the founders and owning slaves. I also don't think Marx's shitty views should be ignored. If anything, I think it should be seen by the left as motivation to do better than Marx did and champion civil rights and social justice causes. And as for the idea of Marx as a granddaddy of the left, I've never been particularly comfortable with that sort of stuff, because oftentimes you'll see it manifest in the sense that people will just respond to everything with read Marx, or read Lenin, or read Mao. And it's honestly very fucking annoying when you make a long, heavily researched argument on something, and then someone just discounts the entirety of it with read so-and-so, often not even directing you to what you're supposedly supposed to read. When it comes to political theory, I don't think it should be really viewed as this is the objective truth and we must not err from it. More so just as a tool for helping you better understand stuff. But as for my personal opinions on Marx's work, so far I've only read the Manifesto and Wage, Labor, and Capital. I thought both were pretty good. And I'll get through some more of it eventually, but I've got a stack up to here of books I gotta read. I'm sorry that was such a long, rambly answer. Isabella Morley 708 says, why do you start making videos? Or at least the kind of videos you've been making lately. Well, I started making videos because PragerU was fucking stupid, and I wanted to talk about it. But a lot of my current output has been based on stuff that I've either found particularly interesting, such as the Lolita video, or stuff that I think is particularly important to talk about, such as my recent videos on voting and LGBT rights. Kelsier asks, does it take a toll on your mental health to discuss negative/difficult topics most of the time on your channel? It doesn't take too much of a toll. Like, I do get bummed out sometimes when I'm researching or writing or whatever, but when that happens, I like to just take a break, go on a walk, do something fun to get my mind off of it before I go back in. Honestly, more than anything else, it takes a toll on my social health. Not because I'm forgoing hanging out with friends to make videos or anything, but because when I'm making a video, whatever I'm working on is like constantly present in my mind, and I tend to talk about it a lot with other people. And when I was making the Lolita video, you do not know how weird it must have been for 5 months to have everyone around me just having to deal with the fact that I'm gonna bring up Lolita like daily. Well, that's the end of the questions. Sorry if the presentation on this was a little bad. I said I don't like to watch unscripted content, but I also really struggled to make it. So just know, however long this video winds up being, it was cut down from like an hour and 10 minutes of footage. But once again, thanks for 10K. The next video on my main channel will probably be the Halloween one. I'm still working on the outline for it, but it's going to be something really special, I think. So I'll see you then.